I don't know about you, but I really enjoy looking through other people's tarot journals and, well, sketchbooks in general. And if that's something that you like to do as well, then stick around, because today I'm going to share my visual art tarot journal. Now, before we get started, comment below if you also keep a visual art tarot journal, and let us know, what are your favourite ways of doing this? Do you like to draw and paint? Do you prefer collage, or is it more of a mixed media approach that you take? I find that absolutely fascinating, so do share how you create your journals. I'm trying something slightly new today. I'm going to try and be a little bit more ad hoc, so this video might be a little bit more rough and ready than some of my other videos, although to be honest my videos are pretty rough and ready, and I'm just doing this for ease, so let me know if you prefer this style of video making. Now please do excuse the state of my table, but this is my art table where I do most of my work, and as you can see it has been well used. I also tend to do my readings here, but I will place my tarot cloth down, which you've probably seen in some of my other videos. So I'll start by saying that this is where most of my readings are recorded. This is my written tarot journal, and if you're interested in that, I have got a video about how I set this up. I will put big readings, daily readings, and I do like to record my daily readings simply because I've got a crap memory, and but just by writing it down I help to sort of keep track of the readings that I've done. If I just left it to memory, I don't think I would get the insight and be able to sort of work on the messages that I'm given as thoroughly as I do when I write down what the readings are telling me. Now this is the book I work in mostly. Most days I will write something in here based on the cards that I've pulled. Before I start going through the journal, I'm just going to add in that a lot of the images I use come from artwork I've done in the past. So I'll pull a card and then normally an image of something I've created from the past will pop into my mind, and I will revisit that image and use it as a starting point for the journaling process. This is kind of my vision board, just bits and pieces that I've done over the years, things I particularly like or things that I want to come back to, and of course I have a lot of sketchbooks with additional images in them which I refer to as well. My visual tarot journal is something that I work in occasionally, although it is something that I would like to work in a little bit more, and I think when I have finished designing my tarot deck and I have a little bit more time for other types of art, I will probably try and combine the two somehow. Now I'm going to just whiz through these ones quickly because I've shown these ones before, and you might recognise the tree image here which I showed on my kind of vision board. And my process is really quite an intuitive process, and it will change from time to time. But once I've pulled the card, so when I started doing this I did meditate, but I found that I don't tend to meditate quite as often. I just let the kind of the images and the words come to me, and I'll place them down on the page. So this one is quite recent. This is part of a series of journal pages that I did for April. So I pulled a card for a goddess, an angel, and I did 2 animals. If you're interested in the decks I've used, I did talk about that in another video which I'll link. I also pulled a card from a tree deck and a plant deck. Let's settle on my horse page then, and really when I was working through with my April guides, I was really asking them what message they had for me. What did I need to hear? What did I need to take action upon? And in a moment I'll talk about what I learned as a collective, but with the horse then I think I started with the horse image, and whilst I was copying the horse image out, I was allowing kind of sentences and thoughts about what the horse could teach me to come into my mind. And as I was working on the horse, this is what she told me. So, time to rewild, to run free with me in the open spaces. And to put this into context, up until quite recently, I've been hermiting quite a bit indoors. We had a really rubbishy winter here in the UK, not particularly cold, but just not very inspiring to go out. And kind of in previous winters, my partner and I would quite often go out. We live quite close to the coastline, so we'd go and explore that even on cold days, and neither of us have really felt like doing that. And I should say we're very much into our creative projects at the moment, but both of those involve working quite heavily on the computers. And I think really what the horse was guiding me to do is to kind of step away from the computer, step outside, reconnect with nature. We have a wonderful wildlife garden outside of our house, and really to get back into that, hence the reason we've got some wildflowers here. You'll also notice that I've chosen to put some colours, to make some of the words a little bit darker, and they're the words that I felt that I really needed to focus on. So rewild being one, run free, and be in an open space. As I said, I've been very cocooned being in the house for quite long periods of time. Working with these guides for April, there was a very clear theme of being outside and embracing nature. There was a lot of sunshine appearing on some of these images as well. So this one is embrace your inner sunshine and allow your confidence to grow. So that's more of a kind of a metaphor for being outside, but also remembering that we can find light and confidence in the natural world. This one is more about working with intuition and I think sort of Pisces energy really, and sort of really exploring that watery sort of liminal space to help transition. I've written the word here, embrace rebirth, and obviously I've been going through this transitional period. I think both are kind of on a day-to-day level in terms of having to have some form of employment change, but also on a spiritual level as well. Obviously we've talked about the horse, but then I had Capybara, which was from the Orion's Tarot. Again, basking in the sunlight, radiate out the joy you feel. So not only sort of connecting with nature, but using connecting with nature to experience a little bit more joy. And a lot of my readings were telling me that I wasn't necessarily kind of depressed or anything, but perhaps not experiencing as much joy as I should be. And again, I think that's all down to just being inside too much, and probably being in my own head a bit too much as well. And obviously this was backed up with the ginkgo, which is about harmony. So I don't know if you can see here, we have this tree being and the rings of the tree sort of radiating out from the heart, so finding equilibrium and balance. And I'm not sure why I didn't put any writing on this one. Perhaps my intention was to come back to it, or maybe I just felt the image was enough as it was. And then again, this one was the plant lichen, and this is all about sort of feeling grounded and having the confidence to kind of rise up. And I'm probably not explaining the sort of the running thread between these very well, but yeah, all about feeding your soul, connecting with nature, feeling grounded, and then you can come from a place of confidence to put yourself out there. Really fascinating process. I have started on my May pages, and just while we pause on this page, just a note on why I tend to draw things rather than do collage. It's not that I don't like collage. There are some beautiful collaged sketchbooks out there, and in fact it was really lovely to see Feeding My Soul 1212. She shared some of the books that she's been working on, and she does a lot of collage pieces. For me, I've always drawn and painted, and I love doing different types of lettering, so that's kind of my happy place. And also I find with collage I just get distracted looking for the perfect bit of text or the perfect image, and it sort of takes away from the creating experience, and it's too much of a distraction. And because I've got lots of other projects on the go, I feel like I can create what I need sort of by drawing it probably a lot more quickly and a lot more intuitively than if I sort of spent some time sifting through magazines and whatever. And I know for some people that works really, really well, and I have done it in the past, but this is just kind of what works for me. The wonderful thing about visual journaling is it's a very intuitive way to kind of sort out all the clutter and the chaos that might be lurking in the back of your subconscious, and just to help you process maybe some emotions that you're feeling or some inklings that you might have in a non-judgmental way. And my pages are, I'm not trying to create a beautiful piece of artwork. Sometimes I'm really pleased with what I've done, and some of them I just let be rough and ready. So this is part of May. This is Coventia, I'm gonna say, I don't know if I've pronounced that, a goddess, and she's kind of a watery goddess. And so for me it was this idea of just using the visuals of the water to wash away just kind of any crap that I'm still holding on to, any sort of emotional baggage. I'm a very anxious person, and so sort of letting go of those fears and anxieties, which kind of a lot of my readings have been telling me recently, and just trying to be a bit more confident within myself. And so I sort of got it to this stage, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep it like that. It's kind of visually representational of the message that I think this card is trying to tell me. I wouldn't typically normally show these to people, but just for those people that are out there thinking, oh, I can't do journaling, like I'm no good at art. Remember, journaling is a process for you, and for you alone, for you to get your ideas and your feelings down in an intuitive way. I mean, sometimes if you struggle with words, you can use the pictures to express what you are struggling to say out loud or to write down. From my April guides then, I have explored the raven, who, I don't know if you probably read on the previous page, has some messages that are gonna whisper through the wind at me. Actually, no, I think this is pronounced Coventina. And my angel card, which I think is going to be more of a calm and contemplative page. That's the vibes that I'm getting from this card. I have the tree card, which was horse chestnuts, and this deck is really interesting because it uses the colours of the chakra. So just looking at this, there's obviously some root chakra from the red, and then throat chakra, so it could be to do with communication. And then I pulled Amanita, which is actually the fly agaric toadstool card. So I'm going to have a load of fun doing that card, that page, I think. Thank you so much for joining me today and checking out my journal. If you haven't commented already in how you like to create your arts or your non-art tarot journals, then do share below how you go about that practice. As always, if you enjoyed the video and fancy giving it a cheeky like or subscribing to my channel for more tarot and art related content, then it's always appreciated and always welcome. And a big thanks to the new people who have joined my channel, because it seems to be growing, and I really value people taking time to comment on my videos as well. So much love to everybody that's taken part so far, and until the next video, here are a couple of other videos that you might like to watch. I'm Sally and this is my channel, Vaudeville Manor House of Art and Tarot. Bye bye.